Hello and welcome to Auburn on Main podcast. My name is Jonathan Glover, communications manager for the city of Auburn, and I'm joined by Chester Boyd, my sweater, very gray wearing co-host Chester Boyd. Chester, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Welcome back, Jonathan.
Thank you.
I know. I didn't even realize that you were out of town, but yeah.
I felt like I told people, and then I realized I don't think anybody knew that I was leaving, even though it was on your calendars. But
well, we just had the state of the
busy.
city, and I assumed he was going to go off the grid, but I didn't think he'd go all the way to Arizona.
Arizona, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Phoenix. We'll watch the spring training. That was fun.
spring training for
The Mariners, yeah.
Oh, really?
They won. I know that doesn't matter for spring training, but it is cool to see them win, I guess. Raleigh, his first swing was a home run. That was fun.
Awesome.
And we're joined, of course, by the Auburn Symphony Orchestra. We've got Executive Director Rachel Perry. Rachel, hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Thanks for having us.
And then Conductor and Music Director Wes Schulz.
That's right. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Okay, we're just going to catch up really quick. So, yeah, Chester, as I was saying, I went to spring training. I've been watching Severance, and it's been good. Mm-hmm. And then for the first time in my life, and I don't know why, I waited this long, I watched 10 Things I Hate About You. Which
that's like 25 years behind.
Yeah, I know. But here's the thing, is
Okay.
I'd never actually gone. So we recently moved to Tacoma, and I'd never seen Stadium High School. Like I knew of it, right? You see pictures, or you know of the movie. And then I was there, and I was like, oh, this is actually a really cool high school. And I think there's something filmed here. And then for whatever reason,
in a movie, yeah.
Well, yeah, on the plane, I was like, I know what I'm doing, and it was on the plane. So I watched it, and it was great. And I didn't know that it was set mostly in Seattle, but obviously Stadium High School was playing a high school in Seattle.
Yeah, classic.
Even though it's in Tacoma.
I think the paintball scene was at the Gasworks or something like that. I'm not sure exactly. But yeah.
Yeah, and that was fun because now they don't shoot movies in Seattle anymore.
Why, the logistics or
it's just
tax?
too expensive.
Yeah,
like that movie Hard Eyes. I don't know if anybody's heard of that. I don't know why you would have, but it's a movie set in Seattle. It was made like very recently. It just came out, not filmed here at all. I think it was filmed in like Romania or something.
For Seattle? Wow,
yeah. Chester, what have you been up to?
Well, I've told Jonathan this already, but I got a standard poodle puppy who is making my life a living
Joy.
joy.
Yeah,
it's filled with love.
What is the puppy's name?
Gosh darn
Sammy.
it. Gosh darn it.
There's still time. She's not answering to Sammy anyways. So.
Sammy? That's awesome.
It's short for Samedi, which is French for Saturday, which is the day I got her.
Oh,
but,
okay.
it's like just doing too much with names at that point.
How old is she?
She's going on 11 weeks now.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
That's
still
handful for sure.
Stressful.
Are you potty training, house training?
Yeah, it's taking a little bit, but it's there's some progress there. I'm getting the rest of her vaccinations today, but then hopefully I can get her out of the house because she's just been cooped up. And poodles are full of energy. I don't know if people realize, but they're very active dogs.
Unless you have a Labradoodle, that's close-ish.
Yeah, but they're smart dogs, yeah.
Very
sweet.
Clever, I'd say.
Clever.
But clever, yeah.
Clever in the worst ways or best ways?
Crafty.
Undermining your authority from the get-go, huh?
Yes. She's definitely thinks she's pack leader right now, but I don't know. I'm really looking forward to seeing her grow up at this point because
that's fun.
Yeah, she's hypoallergenic and just kind of got the softest fur or hair, I should say.
Yeah, hair. Yep.
But yeah.
Cool. What are you going to get her a pal?
I should. People say that you should get poodle pairs, but
like a cat,
this point,
a cat to terrorize her when she's settled in.
At this point, I don't know if I can take it, but I'll think about it further down the line.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Very, very, very happy about that. Wes and Rachel, what have you been up to? We've never talked to you before, ever, on the podcast, but we're happy to have you.
We just had a concert on Saturday night.
Oh, okay.
Last Saturday night.
Was it the Harry Potter one?
Sorry for some FOMO because it's coming out, obviously. Yes, it was our Pops concert, all Harry Potter music. From
Jason
all
went to
films.
that. Jason's listening. He can't talk to us, but Jason, give us a drum roll if it was good. It was good. I didn't see it here, but I've gone to a Harry Potter symphony playing in Spokane. This was like 5 years ago, and it was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
Great
With
music.
Film?
No, it was like playing all the film music. Yeah,
Oh,
so
the music,
that's
It's great.
why can't I think of the composer?
John Williams.
John Williams. Yeah, great, awesome.
Yeah.
What do you have a favorite composer now that we're talking about that?
Oh gosh. Well, my dog is named after Felix Mendelssohn. So. Felix.
Do you have a favorite film composer?
Film composer. I mean, John Williams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's at.
It's like he never runs out of ideas. It seems like. But I like Ennio Morricone. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All the spaghetti westerns and all that. But Ryuichi Sakamoto, that's another good one.
Wes, what have you been up to?
R.I.P.
You're diving into the vault there. For some of those. Oh, well, we did the concert on Saturday, and so I usually try to take a quick break after that. So I've been skiing and snowboarding lately.
Yeah, you said you're flying to New York.
Going to New York tomorrow, see a friend,
be
see
cool.
some Broadway and Met Opera, and
Nice.
eat.
I've never been to New York.
course.
It's on my bucket list this year, I say, but I'm not going this year. I'm going to Chicago instead.
Ooh.
That's just because the flights are so much cheaper.
Yeah.
For some reason. I have no idea why. Okay, let's get into it. So, Wes, Rachel, it is so awesome to have you here. Two people from the Auburn Symphony Orchestra, which we're huge fans of. Jason and I help film and photograph the Link Up event every year. Like I said, Jason just went to the Music of Harry Potter, which was really fun. So let's just kind of get into it. So a lot of people listening, they probably know what symphony is, but if you had to like condense it down into like an elevator pitch, what would you say the Auburn Symphony does or the Auburn Symphony Orchestra does?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people don't realize that Auburn Symphony is a fully professional orchestra right here in Auburn. And so our musicians, a lot of them come from and play in the Pacific Northwest Ballet Orchestra. That's actually how we were founded. Was from the founding conductor of that orchestra, taking those musicians out of the pit and onto the stage here in Auburn. And we've been around for 28 years, which I think people don't realize either. So the variety of music and the really year-round programming that we do, you can see Auburn Symphony in lots of different ways.
Is there
all
like
the
a
time.
symphony season?
Yeah, traditionally we say like October to May is our like when you can see full symphony concerts. The 60 to 70 players on stage, but we do have we're out and about over the summer too.
Okay. And Wes, I've always wanted to ask somebody this, and I've never talked to Conductor before, so I apologize. You're the first person I'm asking. How does somebody become a conductor?
Oh, someone has to hire you, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be a little facetious, but it is kind of funny. Like you can play an instrument, violin, percussion, whatever, and you can jam in your home. You can jam with friends, and you are a violinist or you are a drummer, But it's kind of funny. You're not quite really a conductor unless someone says, "Hey, come conduct us," right, and be in front of an ensemble. Otherwise, you're just waving a stick in a room by yourself, right, and no one's responding,
Right.
So, anyways, but like, you study music, and it's just sort of like one of those focus areas, I guess you could say. So, some people go into sound engineering, or write music or arts administration. Rachel's a musician as well. She plays cello, but her full-time gig that she loves here is running the symphony from the administrative end.
Yeah.
So there's so many different ways you can engage with music. And so for me, I just felt so drawn to conducting because it's a teaching role, it's an advocacy role, it's a cheerleader role for music in the community. And so you asked, like, what is Auburn Symphony about? Like, to me, it's like the music's the soundtrack of our lives. You referenced film music as well, right? A lot of these films, whether it's iconic sounds of John Williams through Star Wars or Indiana Jones, whatever, is like iconic, and a lot of us have memories when we were small when we first saw those movies, right? And so orchestra these days, we're the ones that played that music, so we can do everything from film music to Mozart and Beethoven to video game music. So we can kind of do everything, and we do. And so we just love doing concerts that are inviting to the whole Auburn community.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you play instruments too, right?
Yeah, I grew up on cello as well.
Oh, really?
And then percussion is another instrument of mine.
Percussion.
Yeah.
So I would say I play the drums kind of, but not well.
Okay.
But I would never say I'm a percussionist because like I've never even like looked at a sheet of music before. It's more like teaching myself and then playing in like bands in high school.
Sure.
Yeah. But is that kind of like, would you say that's a requirement of being a conductor, is having a background playing an instrument or at least growing up with it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because, when you are a conductor, you're standing in front of, 60, 80, 100 super smart musicians who all went to music school, who all know about music theory and history and how to play their instrument. So it's my job to like understand how do all their instruments work. So when we are rehearsing and working together, if there's a problem, I got to have the wherewithal to know like, oh, is this a challenge of this specific instrument, or is this something I can help address, through something that I can do. So it's you're in the spotlight, and you got to be ready to show up and deliver.
And you're probably talking to some musicians who've been playing for like decades and decades. When I was in Spokane, I don't know why I keep talking about Spokane today, sorry. But I talked to a trumpeter who was like in his 70s and you've been playing for like 40, 50 years and teaching people. And I got to imagine that's a lot of pressure when you're up there dealing with, probably hundreds or if not thousands of years of experience between all the people.
Yeah, and it can be, but that's kind of like any field, whether you're a first-year teacher and you've got 30-year veteran teachers at your school, right? It's kind of the same thing. There's a difference of experience. But everyone is showing up with their talent most of all. And then if you're just a good colleague, I think the age line disappears a bit if you're just engaged with everyone, respectful and communicate, like any job field.
Absolutely.
That's a nice way of putting it.
The people who play in the symphony, how do they get involved with that as well? I've always been curious about that.
Yeah, so it's professional orchestra. And what that means is, we're regional size, so this isn't their full-time job. It's one gig that they do among many gigs, which is one of the joys of freelance musicians is that these players on any given week, they might be teaching private lessons, from 4-year-olds to adults. They might be playing on the stage at Benaroya Hall, playing the Seattle Symphony. They might be doing the ballet. They might be doing the opera. There's a lot of actually film recording music and video game music recording done here. That's then sent to Hollywood or wherever to put together with whatever film or game it is. So a lot of my players do those recording sessions, which is kind of fun. Wow. And then just the random gigs, whatever act comes through town and needs some instruments, then they get hired and do those, whether it's at Climate Pledge Arena or these candlelight concerts. So it's kind of a cool life that every day is different for them. But yeah, so they come from all over and all sorts of experience.
Yeah. The candlelight, I don't know if that's recent. I just see it a lot now. Like I always see candlelight Taylor Swift.
Yep, they have great marketing.
Yeah, they do. I've never done it.
Yeah.
But then you said
And
video
a lot of
games.
our players play it in those.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They play a lot of Taylor Swift songs?
Yep.
Oh,
Or whatever show.
All the types
All
of
the
programs.
shows.
Yeah, Beatles, all types of stuff.
That's funny. And then you said, video games. My mind went to Halo because Bungie is right up the road, and that has a great soundtrack.
Borderline opera.
Or Destiny, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
There's for sure some orchestra in there. So let's talk about the upcoming season. So you said it ends in May, so you're probably wrapping up things a little bit, but then you have October and beyond. So what's on the horizon and what's, I don't know, what's most exciting for this year and beyond?
Yeah, so we have a few more concerts left this season, April and May coming up. And we are going to announce the next season, 25-26 season, in April. So that'll be the whole next slate of concerts. But we also have education programs still going. So we started a program called Rhythm and Rhymes. It's actually at the Postmark Center. And that's a pairing of an Auburn librarian and one of our musicians to do a story time and music hour for the littles, ages like 3 to 8.
Yeah.
So you can check that out April, May, and June.
So it's like somebody reading and then somebody plays music while they're reading?
Wow, yeah, to kind of
makes it
enhance
so
the experience
epic.
a little
Yeah.
interactive thing. But Wes, you want to talk about our last concerts of the season?
Yeah, the symphony will be on stage a couple more times. So in early April, we're doing a program of all American music. So I love music of today, contemporary music. Because a lot of times people think, orchestras only play, the dead guys,
right?
Because a lot of times they were guys and they were dead. But we do everything. So coming up in our April programs, we've got music by Aaron Copland. So if you ever heard Appalachian Spring or Simple Gifts, that sort of shaker theme, he's very well known for an orchestration of that. So we're doing similar music of his from another ballet called the Tenderland Suite. Samuel Barber is a really famous 20th century composer. We're doing one of his symphonies. There's this really fantastic composer, Carlos Simon, who's been writing great music, and he has these 4 dances, and he calls the whole piece 4 Black American dances, drawing upon all the different traditions in the Black community involving music and dance. And so he wrote these versions of these different styles of dance for orchestra. So that's a super fun one here in April. And then May, we're going to end the program with Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. So if you ever heard the Ode to Joy, most people have heard that tune. This is that piece. So we'll have a full chorus on stage and our vocal soloists. And I think it's music that we need. This is music, written several hundred years ago. But the message of it is unity, brotherhood, kindness, compassion. And I think that's something that we all need a little bit more of these days. So
Absolutely.
It's a great way to end our season, and I think a good way to reach out to our community in times that are kind of tough lately.
Yeah. Absolutely. That sounds great. And all of that can be found on the Auburn Symphony's website, right?
AuburnSymphony.org.
Easy, auburnsymphony.org. And then a lot of those events we'll put in our community calendar as well on Auburn WA and Mayor's Update. So if you subscribe to those, we try to send those out as often as we can. You were talking about contemporary music. I have to ask now, if I looked at your Spotify, your top played for this year, what do you think it would be?
Oh gosh, mine's pretty sporadic because it includes the Bluey soundtrack for my son.
Okay.
As well as the all the different type of folk and all that stuff that I listen to in the office.
Okay.
But, we do have an ASO playlist for all the pieces for this year. I think we'll make sure that's linked somewhere.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
But
Yeah, if you're listening to the podcast
yes.
on Spotify, just click on over.
yeah, my
Easy.
Spotify Wrapped is pretty all over the place, to say the least.
Wes, how about you?
Well, it's kind of similar when you're a classical musician, then you get your year-end wrap from Spotify. It looks a little obtuse, but because I love everything. So whether it's Chapel Roan's newest bop, I'll absolutely listen to that. And at the same time, I'll listen to music that I'm preparing or studying. And so like one that's popped up a lot is we did this really fantastic cello concerto about a month ago. And the composer's name is Anna Klein. The piece is named Dance. And our cellist, soloist is Nathan Chan from the Seattle Symphony. He's really fantastic. But it was one of those beautiful pieces of music that I've heard in the last couple of years. So I was listening to it a lot. And then we finally got to do the piece live right here in Auburn.
Right.
And it was a really moving experience for a lot of us. So that's popped up a lot.
That is great. Chester, before I ask, I just wanted to say it. I relate to that. Sometimes when I have to like research things for work and I use my personal YouTube, it'll mess up the entire algorithm.
Exactly.
And then it's like, they're like, oh, you like this very particular thing about video editing? It's like, no, not really. I don't want to see a whole bunch of videos, but it has no idea. So yeah, you probably get a lot of suggestions for some weird things.
No, yeah, I had my Apple Music tied to my sister's Google Voice at her house, and they were just playing music for her kids too. So
Yeah.
it was just my Wrapped was just ruined. So I didn't know exactly what I listened to. All of
a lot of
last
Baby
year, but-
Shark in that? Or
No, it was Baby Shark was one of them actually. That's strange, but it was like the Pokemon theme song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my nephew loves that for some reason. It's just like hair metal.
It's very uplifting.
Yeah, I
I'm
guess.
trying to keep Baby Shark out of my house. We've been successful so far. We'll see.
What about you, Chester? What do you listen to?
I actually listen to a lot of old school, like Bobby Womack and stuff like that on my way home. But then I listen to music soundtracks, like movie soundtracks on the way home as well. I was listening to the Tenet, what was it, Rainy Day in Tilling. When it's raining and I'm on the highway, it just fits the vibe like that. But
I don't think it's like a very compelling soundtrack. There's not a whole lot of like bombastic music, but The Brutalist, it actually just won an Oscar. For that soundtrack. But that opening song, I don't know if you've seen the movie. It's very long, so if you have 3.5 hours to spare, check it out. But that one just got stuck on my head like forever. It won't leave. But
I haven't heard it yet, but I will say that the one original score nominated for an Oscar was Wicked, so I am disappointed.
Oh yeah,
that the actual movie filled with music didn't win the Oscar.
That was wild.
Just putting in my little
maybe it's just maybe The Brutalist. Maybe it's just that good. I don't know. It certainly stuck in my head, so that's something to be said. Okay, anything symphony orchestra related before we move on to Don't Miss This? Chester, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I would kind of wonder, do you choose the pieces that you're going to perform by committee, or is that up to you? I was just kind of wondering, or do you take suggestions as well, like by the community?
It's sort of the answer is kind of yes all around, but yeah, typically the music director also programs the concerts. But I like to solicit input, so I always survey our musicians every year. So for example, there's a piece that we'll do next season that we'll announce in April, and I picked it because when I surveyed the musicians last year, it was the number one piece that came up amongst all of them. This is what they would like to play. Yeah. So we do that, but I really try to do a good job of a mix of repertory. So you're never going to hear one composer over and over and over from me. Yeah. I really try to make sure I'm offering, especially too with soloists, that we bring in, that there's quite a variety, so that the interest is always kind of kept up. But yeah, people often write in like, oh, I'd really love you to do this piece, or I love this composer. Especially with film music, I get a lot of suggestions with that too. Yeah. So I'll try to listen to those as well.
It's like people yelling at the stage, like play Wonderwall.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm sure, Rachel, you get to have fun. You're like, oh man, how do I market this weird piece of music? I'm just kidding. No one's heard of this. Okay, so we're gonna just briefly talk about some upcoming events. We've got Salvadoran folk art block printing, Chester. That's at Postmark Center of the Art. Speaking of Postmark. Yeah. That's on the 13th of March. That's at 5 p.m. You can sign up for that online, like we like to talk about, on auburnwa.gov. Check out the community calendar. And then 19th of March at 6 p.m., we have Hunting, Fishing, and Native Sovereignty at our White River Valley Museum. That is a free event. You can find more about that at wrvmuseum.org. That's wrvmuseum.org, White River Valley Museum.org. And then the last thing that I wanted to shout out was a different drummer, which is a multi-core ensemble comprised of violin, cello, double bass, and percussion. So I actually had a question. Double bass, is that the only one that's standing up when you play it?
Yeah, typically.
Yeah.
The cello does
Some of
not
them
stand
sit,
up? You kind of...
Cello, you have to sit down.
Cello, you have to sit.
Well, you don't have to, but traditionally.
I've never seen anyone. Like I said in a parade.
You could
some
put the
weird
end pin out really far.
really
and
far.
just play standing.
So that's a chamber/jazz ensemble, and that is the 21st of March, 7:30 p.m. Also at Postmark. Check this out online. I've not been to a concert yet at the Postmark, but I really would like to. But I am really excited about the lower level. I don't know if you guys have been abreast of that situation, but the lower level at the Postmark is going to be opening pretty soon.
It has tiny desk concert vibes.
It kind of does. Yeah, I wonder if we could market it that way. Like set up a camera,
It's like the same lighting in there and everything.
call it like small. What's another word for desk? Small table concert or something?
Podium.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Actually, we do have one other event at the Postmark too.
Really?
At the end of March, we have a chamber concert there.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna have a few of our string players.
So I was. Well, we'll get into this in a second because we have trivia coming up. But I was looking at trivia, and chamber concert came up. Chamber is much smaller, right? That's the smallest of a symphony type of orchestra ensemble, right?
It's kind of a term to describe a smaller group. I don't know however many hundreds of years ago they were played in chambers, in rooms, small rooms. So it's a smaller group of musicians. It's
really cool.
Around 4 to 5.
There's so much out there,
Sorry, I
Chester.
spoiled the
There's so
trivia
much-
question.
well,
You get one right, I guess.
I don't think I used it. Did I use it? I don't think I used it. Okay, well, here's the time where we play some what did we rebrand it to? Fire and Facts.
Fire and Facts. Okay.
But this is gonna be a versus. So this is the first time we've ever done this. Because originally I was going to do symphony and orchestra trivia, and I was like, well, you guys would just know it. And then if you didn't, they'd be like, why did you pick this question so weird that nobody knows it? And then Chester wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
Or maybe he would. Maybe it could be fun. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask Chester symphony and orchestra questions, and I'm going to ask you multimedia / creative, whatever, what we work with.
Yeah.
So like lighting.
Nerdy stuff.
Very, very nerdy. boring
We're all
stuff.
nerds here.
You don't get anything if you win. But if you get their question right, none of us have to try any hot sauce. And again, if you don't like hot sauce, no pressure. You do not have to try any. Wes, you're saying you have a flight, so
It's like playing with fire.
I'll get you set up. But nobody's checking on us to make sure we actually try any. So if you don't want to, no pressure. Oh, that was a lot. Chester, can you hand this out? So the one that we have here, it's from a pack, and it just has a little skull on it, and it says garlic habanero.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be that hot though.
It's very drippy.
It's got a very very interesting graphic design there. Okay, Jess, are you ready?
Yeah.
Wes and Rachel, are you ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to go one for one, and I'm going to try to keep track. So Chester, this first one is for you. Where does I'm going to give you multiple choice. Some of them I will, some of them I won't. It really just kind of depends on what mood I'm in. Where does the term music come from? I'll give you multiple choice. Is it ancient Greek? Is it Latin or Christianity?
Latin? Oh, wait. No,
Whoa.
Latin would be audio.
Immediately guess there. You want to think about it?
Greek.
It is right.
Okay.
So according to the research that I did, which wasn't a whole lot, music comes from the Greek word for art of the muses. The 9 muses of Greek mythology are the guardians of literature and the arts. Originally, the term encompassed all of the muses' domains, but primarily music and lyric poetry. Good job. Chester,
done.
that's one for you. Okay, Wes and Rachel, either of you can answer, but before you do, maybe just kind of consult each other. What does CMYK stand for?
Not as elegant.
I'll give you a hint. They're colors.
I was gonna say I know it's colors.
Oh, it's more than I knew.
Something magenta, yellow,
You're on the right track.
something.
Do you want to try to guess the C and the Y or the C and the K? You had magenta and yellow, correct?
Here's a clue.
Cyan.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And then the
Magenta,
last
This
one.
is like
Yellow.
printer cartridges.
Yeah.
K. Yeah, what's K? Oh man.
K's hard.
Captain.
K can be, it doesn't even have to be the one that stands for K, but
Yeah, we're gonna give it to you. It's
Purple?
key/black. It's like a
Oh.
it's like a baseline of no color.
we would have
Okay.
taken black, but yeah.
Well, great job, everyone. Maybe we won't even have to try this. Question 2, Chester. Which composer's full name means loved by God? You have Chopin,
Oh,
Mozart, or Bach.
loved by God.
Do you guys know this?
No. Who made this?
Maybe it's in. Here, I'll give you a hint. Maybe it's in the movie about him. I have no idea.
Mozart?
Yes, it is. It is Mozart.
Well, he also he was he joked a lot, and he has actually kind of had really dirty jokes. So don't read his letters if you don't want that.
I heard, yeah.
But he also revised his name. So he kind of thought it was really funny to go by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Amadeus isn't actually his real middle name, his birth certificate, but it sounded more Latin. So he just started signing letters like that, and then people started calling him that. So it's actually Amadei. But
It's interesting. So the movie was pretty spot on of how Mozart was. I love that movie.
It was
That's
Austrian,
I think
right?
he'd be pretty fun to hang out with at a party.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Especially that laugh, if that's how he laughed. Okay, Wes and Rachel, question 2. Chester, you got that right. Good job. What does kerning do?
I think kerning is like the space between letters.
Yeah, good job. Wow. Between text slash
Wow.
characters. Yeah,
Rachel.
you guys are all
Sorry, I'm
Got
not
a second
consulting
career
you.
here.
I'm just going for it.
No need to. You just got blank eyes over here on
I
me.
mean, I didn't reveal that I have a communications major, so. I have
Shoot.
some-
Don't
some
do it
stuff.
now. We'll have to
Secret
revise it
weapon
now.
now.
Okay, we'll throw all these out. I might not give you multiple choice on this. I kind of want us to get one wrong. In the orchestra, what instrument is positioned closest to the audience on the left?
In the orchestra? I'll say viola. I don't know.
So close. It's a violin.
Violin? Oh,
But it depends on the setup. Could be.
Depends on the setup. This is not a chamber setup. This is a full
straight from the pros. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna try a little bit. You don't have to. But Chester got it wrong.
We've had this one before.
I like
yeah.
this. No, I opened this. I know we haven't. It's probably very close to the other garlic ones, though. They're all very similar. Okay. Question 3. What is a gaff? I'm sorry, this is for Wes and Rachel. What is a gaffer responsible for?
Isn't that the guy with the stick holding the thing on it?
The boom.
This is the boom operator.
There's also gaffing tape.
There
Yes,
is
I know of
gaffing.
gaffing tape.
I'm gonna give you a multiple choice here. Is it sound? Is it catering? Is it light? Or it stunts?
Light.
It is light. Good job. Wow.
Oh.
Be cool if it was stunts.
They're gunning for you.
Yeah.
If they need.
Okay, Chester, question 4. I kind of already gave this away, so if you don't know this, you don't remember 20 minutes ago, but what was Jonathan's favorite movie of 2022?
The Brutalist?
No. Oh, what? That was this year.
2022. Did you say?
Okay, I'll give you multiple choice. You already got this wrong, but Barbarian, Tar, or Oppenheimer?
Tar.
Yes,
Okay.
there you go.
A favorite movie of yours?
Oh, I love that. Of 2022,
The
yes.
years are blurring
I
together.
love that movie. And this is me knowing nothing about symphony and orchestra. I watch it. I'm like, that's got to be exactly what it's like for all of them.
She's so
Have you seen it?
I have.
Did you like it?
I thought it was entertaining.
Okay.
Certainly.
It was very entertaining. Some would say it wasn't. My girlfriend would say that was the
Not-
worst movie she's ever seen. But
Oh.
Chester, I think you would like it.
It's a slow burn.
Well, yeah, nothing happens, right? But everything happens. Good job. Okay, and Chester, number 4. I'm sorry, Wes and Rachel, number 4. No, not good job. You got it wrong. Why did I do that?
Did I? Oh.
Yeah. Well, because you said the
Brutalist.
Brutalist, which wasn't even my favorite. I don't know why you said that. Okay, Wes and Rachel. Question 4. What does URL stand for? I didn't know this, by the way.
You didn't? Well, yeah.
I'm gonna give
No
you
one
some
needs
hints
to
here
know.
because this is hard. Is it Unreal Life? Is it Uniform Resource Locator? Is it Upper Router Logic? Or is it United Random Line?
Not the first one.
Not the first one.
What was the second one?
Uniform Resource Locator.
Resource.
D sounded kind of
United Random Line?
That sounds like an airline.
United.
Well, that'd be kind of fun. Where it just randomly
Line?
takes you somewhere.
Just, it's discount.
You're going to
Just don't know where
Budapest.
you're going to end up.
What are we going with?
What was C?
C was Upper Router Logic.
Yeah, no, not that one. Upper router.
Yeah.
B or D.
I didn't even know it. I just wrote
B or
it
D?
down.
Let's go with B.
B? Good job.
Oh,
Perfect.
hey, there we go.
Yeah.
We're never going to have to try this.
Wow, this is amazing. We did this on purpose.
I've never won this much at pub trivia, so.
Chester, I think you already lost mathematically, but we're just going to keep doing it.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're just going to do this last one. True or false? The principal violinist is also known as the concertmaster.
I'll say true.
That is true. Allegedly. That is true, right?
Yeah.
According to this, the concertmaster is considered the leader of the orchestra, second only to the conductor. Why is that?
I don't know if it's less why, but just sort of traditionally, like conductors actually evolved from the concertmaster positions. Like, so before there ever was a conductor, it was usually there was a primary violinist who would sort of lead through their playing.
Okay.
And then when they're kind of the conductor role evolved to sort of take over the leading part, then that role sort of is also like the representative of the orchestra, or sort of like a spokesperson of. And so that person also exhibits leadership skills, not only to all the other violins, but kind of to the other orchestra. There's a little bit of agency there in terms of the ensemble that person exhibits.
That's interesting. And then, so first chair, sorry, really quick side part. Is first chair literally the first chair on the edge also? I know what it means for the
it depends how they're arranged on the stage. But like, first chair, I think we use that term more with public schools. So like with professional orchestras, usually they still use the term concertmaster, though some are converting it to like primary violinist to sort of get away from the master connotation.
Right. Yep.
And then there's often like an assistant concertmaster, or there are principal players and assistant principal players. So first chair is sort of similar, but more of a term now just kind of used in school. But yeah,
Makes sense. I was first chair bass clarinet.
Really?
Terrible. Yeah.
Seriously? I didn't know you played clarinet.
There's only 2 of us, so it wasn't really that much of a competition.
You had a 50-50 shot just being there.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Do you still play clarinet?
No, I don't own one anyway. I was renting it at the time, so yeah.
Okay.
I was just in 9th grade.
I don't know how I had it, but I played trombone in like middle school.
Okay.
And then I stopped in high school, and then I played drums instead.
I wish I'd done brass. Woodwinds aren't my
It was fun.
cup of tea.
I mean, the best part was when you get to blow your spit out. Everybody liked that part. That was
the
really
spit
fun.
valve.
When you're in middle school, that's like the coolest thing ever. Okay, final question. You already won, but we're going to go through it anyway. In graphic design, what 2 colors inspire feelings of hunger? I'm going to give you the combinations. Is it black/white? Is it purple-green? Is it red-yellow? Or is it orange-pink?
What was it? Green, purple?
Final answer?
Was that the combo?
Yeah,
That's
purple.
That was one of the combos?
Just think of any fast food restaurant.
Yeah, this will give you a huge hint. Think of fast food and what the colors are.
I was thinking it's more red then, is it? Red and yellow.
Yep.
Yeah, good job.
There we go.
Yellow. Which, when Chester sent that to me, I was like, at first I thought orange-pink, which wasn't right. But then he said red-yellow, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's like every fast food. Like McDonald's is yellow.
It's subconscious.
Chick-fil-A is
isn't it?
red.
Yeah.
In-N-Out is red and yellow. Those packages that we had, those were both red and yellow.
Yeah.
For the food.
Everyone check your food. It's red and yellow. Half the time, I mean.
Wonder
Well,
what
there's
the
also
second one is.
Whataburger in Texas where I lived for a bit, and that's orange. So
Yeah, and then I was and then I immediately
Orange
thought of
does.
Taco Bell, and I was like, wait a minute, throw all the this is
they're
just
a wild
purple and
card.
something weird, but
Yeah.
that's my favorite, so they're doing something right. Wes and Rachel, good job. You destroyed Chester 5-2. The
It's gonna
champions
happen
of
eventually. Yeah.
the Fire and Facts. Great job. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate having you on. I can take that.
Okay. Can I taste it anyway? I kinda
Yeah,
wanna
go
taste
for it.
Okay.
It is good. It's not that spicy, but I think my spice level is a little skewed. I use a lot of
that's
spice.
good.
Yeah, it's good. Well, if you want it, no, I'm just kidding. We need it. No, we don't. You can have it.
Any other 30 bottles on the
Yeah.
counter.
Oh yeah, we're set up for a while. I think some of them are probably expiring, so we probably gotta figure that
You
out.
just need to drink from the bottle. Then.
We're gonna start using spoons instead of wooden tabs.
Yeah, or have some food. Anything else before we sign off?
No, thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this was
Check
very
out
fun.
the Symphony. Plenty of shows throughout the year. Thank you so much for having us. Looking forward to seeing you for the next link up.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.